So on today's episode of Rand's Indie Spotlight, we're going to be taking a look at The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which has been out on PC and PlayStation 4 for quite some time, and it has finally made its way to the Xbox One. I am playing the Xbox One X version. It is enhanced for the console. I'm going to talk about what enhancements it received. This game has been developed by the Astronauts, and it is available today, January 19th, for the price of $19.99, and I want to thank the devs for sending over a code for the purpose of the video. So if you want to know a little bit about the X enhancements for this game, here's what they are. Basically, you can choose from 3 different resolution settings: 1080p, 1440p, and I think 2160p, so basically 4K resolution. And the cool thing is you can actually play unlocked frame rate on all 3 of those, or if you want to, you can also play at a lock 30. Now, my first time through the game, I played it at 1080p, 60 frames, and then I went back through it on 4K and unlocked frame rate that doesn't really reach 60. It's more like 40 and 30, but I played it 1080p and 4K, and I will have to say that this game is pretty damn good looking. It is a very sharp game in 4K. So let's actually talk a little bit about the game now that we got the enhancements out of the way. So The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is a first-person, story-driven, mystery-focused game that is about exploration and discovery. So yeah, if that sounds like walking simulator terminology, that is exactly what it is. It is a walking simulator, and I know there are a lot of people with a lot of different opinions on whether or not they like these type of games, so I'm going to say it up front. It is a walking simulator like Edith Finch or Gone Home or Firewatch. Now, in Ethan Carter, you play as like a supernatural psychic private detective, Paul Prospero, who is on his last case, and he's trying to discover the whereabouts of Ethan Carter, which is why it's called The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. So in his kind of travels through Red Creek Valley, you uncover a mystery and about this dark ancient force that is kind of inhabiting the land. So what exactly did I think about Ethan Carter? You guys know, if you've been following the channel for a long time, I really enjoy these type of games, walking simulators. I really love a good story. What Remains of Edith Finch was my second favorite game last year. I liked Firewatch, Gone Home. I am drawn to these type of games, and I'm going to say I didn't really enjoy this one as much as I thought I would, and maybe it's because I've played a lot of what I would consider better versions of this type of game of a walking simulator. This game originally came out in 2014. It's been 4 years, and in those meantimes, I've played those previous games I mentioned, which I consider to be superior to this one. But there are a lot of things the game does well. Now, when you start up the game, the first thing that is said to you is developers, they put a message on screen that says, this is a narrative experience that doesn't hold your hand. And that's one of the game's strengths, but also mainly its biggest weakness. You get dropped into Red Creek Valley and you can explore this huge area, and the game doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you where to go at all. So there is an element of you can get lost. You may not figure out what your next objective is. And what are your objectives in this game? Well, you're trying to figure out what happened to Ethan Carter, and your main objective is to solve these murder cases. There's about 5 murder cases. It's the core gameplay. So when you stumble upon these areas where there's like a dead body, you can inspect certain things, and it'll be like scribbled notes. It's like Paul is going through in his head what possibly could cause the things that happened. And I thought that aspect of the game was pretty cool. Going around, looking at a scene, inspecting all the possible clues, and then putting it together. Because you are a supernatural detective, once you kind of find all the areas of interest in like the scene, you then go into this supernatural mode, and you like can visualize what happened, and you have to put each of the segments in chronological order to actually solve the murder. And that's like the biggest thing I liked about the game was the part where you were solving the murders. The stuff in between where you walk from one place to the next without any sort of guidance got a little bit tedious. I ain't gonna lie, I got lost quite a few times figuring out where I had to go next. And you know what you want in these walking simulators is a great story. And the story is very interesting at the beginning. There's some ancient force like called the Sleeper or something going on. This kid's family kind of wants to kill him, and it made me want to keep playing, but the more I got into it, the less interested I became in the title, and I found myself more or less kind of gawking at the beautiful visuals that the game offers in 4K. So as for the length of the game, I guess that greatly depends on how often you get stuck finding, you know, the path from one murder scene to the next, or how often you get stuck between finding one clue and the next clue. If it takes you a long time, this game will probably last you 3 to 4 hours. If you're really good at that stuff, probably take you 2. You can finish this pretty fast if you know exactly what you're doing. So if you're looking for a quick 1,000 gamer score, you can get a 1,000 gamer score using a guide in about an hour. But then it comes down to the price. It's $20. And if you're a fan of the walking simulator genre, I actually recommend this game. There is enough here that I think justifies the price if you are a fan of the genre. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of these first-person story-driven type of games. So if that is not exactly what you're looking for, or you're not a fan of that, then I would stay away. And even at $10, even a half a price cut, if you're not a fan of this type of game, I would say just don't even bother. But if you're a fan of the genre, pick it up. There's enough here that I think is worthy of going through. The great visuals, the cool soundtrack, the voice acting is pretty so-so, but I really liked the detective aspect. It made me actually feel like I was uncovering the clues in the game, that I was stumbling upon the right area and putting the story together myself about what happened. I really enjoyed that aspect of the game. I just wish maybe the game helped you a little bit long. I wish there was like a compass, because you can get spun around and not know exactly where to go. So it does have some good parts to the game. It's just, $20 for a couple hour experience. That is totally up, to each one of you guys, whether or not you want to check it out. But it is enhanced for the X, so if you're looking for a title to show off on your 4K TV, this one's it looks pretty damn good, and I'm really happy that they give you the options of not only the 3 different resolutions, but also unlocked frame rate or locked frame rate. And it also has a free roam mode that they added into the game for this release on Xbox One, where you can actually walk around the environment without any of the props. You can just kind of walk around and take in the visuals and the scope of the game. So it is available today, January 19th, for $20. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button, share this out on social media. If you're new to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the sub button and hit the notification button so you're always notified when I drop new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.